Um, Hello? Actually, I cannot hear you.
Oh, really? Okay, give me 1 second. Microphone. Yes. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Good. Great. How are
Let's
you?
wait for another few minutes. I'm good. Another busy
Great. Good
day.
to hear. Nice.
Share. System. Oh. Let's wait for another like 2 minutes, I guess. Cosella, are you still in Toronto right now?
Yes, sir.
Mm,
It's a bit warmer than before.
it's warmer.
So,
That's good.
yeah, it's time to enjoy because the winter was rough with us.
It was rough.
Yeah, yeah. February was horrible.
Nice.
Like, if you watched the Game of Thrones already, it's like the North.
I was wanting to get all those snow in the West Coast.
Ah, we can go to Lake Tahoe.
Yeah,
It's not as
I
cold.
want it has a snow today. I thought I'm gonna go back this weekend.
Nice. Nice, go for it.
Yeah,
That's the only state where you can ski and surf at the same time,
that's true.
same week. That's the beauty of Cali.
Let me. All right, I think let's get started. I'm gonna get a meeting notes here in the chat so that everyone can access it. And also, I'm also recording the meeting since some of the folks told me they cannot come here, but they do want to know what is going on, like of the production stack at the moment. Let me drop the link in the chat. Yeah, so for this. meeting, I'm thinking that we can go through our roadmap again since there's a lot going on currently and there are some ongoing PR that are adjusting some of the items in the roadmap. So by following the roadmap, we can also take a look at the PR um currently. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Um, so we have already talked about our roadmap before. So basically it has router, the deployment, and support for modern workloads, some safety and CI/CD. Currently we have some ongoing PR that are addressing some of the items here. The first one will be routing to external providers like OpenAI and Anthropic. It has an RFC and a open PR at the moment. I think it's like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, it's PR. We don't, our team doesn't really have time to review it at the moment, but we will like take a look at it as soon as possible. So for this PR, it tries to implement it a like a middleware to route to the router request to OpenAI to some external provider, not only for OpenAI, and but it can also be like Anthropic later as a YAML file config. Um, I think it is a pretty interesting one. Um, yeah, well, if any of you have time to take a look at it, feel free to drop any review comments here. I think it's an interesting PR. It's really useful, and I'm really glad that someone in the community can contribute to this one. Since I personally didn't take a lot of look at it, so I'm gonna skip this just to let anyone know that we have a PR here and it is waiting for review and merge. Yeah, so this is this one. And aside from that, there's an RFC in the router side queuing support proposal. Um, for this one, it has some key design of the RFs of the router side queuing support. I attached some of the comments here, but we're still waiting for a newer version of this RFC. Um, yeah. For this one, basically, it tries to use the engine stat scraper to get the current stats and then use the current stats to add a lock in different endpoint per endpoint. And for per endpoint, it has a queue so that we can enable the router side queuing support. However, there are some concerns about the lock and compatibility with the such as the migration of the request, some fault tolerance things. We are still waiting for a newer version of the RFC, but overall, I think it's pretty good. If any of you are interested in this feature, feel free to contribute it to it as well. Not only the article, he's not here. Um, yeah, so this is this one. And aside from that, we have carry cache aware and prefix aware routing logic in the CRD. Right now, we enable the prefix aware and the KV aware routing options in the CRD at the moment. Right now, yeah, it has already been merged, but yeah, I think it has also been tested. The test is pretty complete, I would say. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, so basically, like, because our CRD is using the router image as the one, so as long as we have the routing logic of KV aware and prefix aware, we just need to plug it to the CRD and make it compatible and integrated. I think the main change is there are some fields that are missing in the CRD in the previous version. So we added some of the new like Mcache controller port, this kind of field, so that we can enable the prefix aware and the KV aware by integrated with the LM cache. So this is this PR. Um, let's see what is the next. Yeah, so another one is the disaggregated preview support in CRD. Um, for this one, right now we have the PD disaggregation deployment at the moment in the Helm chart deployment. However, we lack of CRD deployment for PD disaggregation. So this PR is trying to enable the disaggregated preview in the CRD, not only for 1P 1D but also XP YD. It's still an open PR. Yeah, to be honest, it's a pretty big one. I've already raised some of the concerns, left a lot of comments and suggested changes. Still waiting for the newer version. But if anyone that in the community wants to take a look at this or take a quick look or even handle this, even take over this, we will be happy because right now the last time I talked is like 2 to 3 weeks ago, but I haven't got any response yet. Yeah. S- And last one is the Kata support, Kata auto scaling support in production stack, CRD deployment. Since I see Chen is here, Chen, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so
Uh,
uh, yeah, so this is mainly uh, to can you go to the PR?
yeah. Or do you want to share the screen?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, share the screen. Wait, me. Oh, you disabled participant
Oh, really?
sharing. Yeah. Oh,
See. How can I enable it?
maybe you can just go to the PR for this time. I don't really know. Share settings.
Setting.
Share settings.
Huh. Enable breakout rooms. See. Okay, I will share it then.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's weird. Oh, wait, you can share it now.
All right. Let me do this. Oh, now I need some creative share. Yeah. Can anyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so basically I know for production step we already have Cuda auto scaling support in our Helm setup, but um the purpose of this PR is also at Cuda auto scaling support for our CRD and operator setup. So basically, how this works is the operator will automatically create a scaled object resources for each vLLM runtime when the auto scaling setting is enabled. And then this basically enable per deployment auto scaling also supports scaling to zero based on the Prometheus matrix. So so there are some changes to the current vLLM and runtime CRD, some changes to the operator controller to reconcile the CR and update the status, and then the current Prometheus trigger we look at is uh, one matrix is from the router is the keep alive matrix. That means if there's any request in the past X minutes, so this all this is in the auto scaling config. So if there's any request in this cooldown window, for example, in the 1800 seconds in the past 30 minutes, then this whole stack VRM runtime will be keep alive and will not scale down to 0 if there's no request at all for 30 minutes, then you will go down to 0 replicas. And then there's also some other metrics like number of running requests in VRM, total number of generation tokens, and total number of pro tokens, which will uh, be the threshold for scaling up and scaling down. Yeah, so basically that's the PR. But I saw some comments and I'll further refine it and we'll merge it when the refinement is done. Yeah, that's all for this feature.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Chen, to contribute to this PR. Anyone has any questions or comments about this PR?
I may have like simple question um uh
If
uh,
no,
about
then
this
let's move to next
do you hear
item.
me?
But
Do you hear
again,
me?
thanks, Chen, to for this
Do you hear me?
very awesome and fantastic feature.
Hello.
Um,
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Another one is the monitoring conference. I think it's a big one and it's worth mentioning this about.
Can you share?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No.
Do you
Let me
guys
share my screen.
do you guys hear me?
I think this is worth mentioning about it's a pretty large one and
Do
a
you guys
very
hear me?
big change, I would say, to the current Helm chart. So it tries to deploy the monitoring stack as the subchart in our Helm chart. Before, if we want to deploy a monitoring stack like the Prometheus and the Grafana, we need to use
One, two, one,
a
two, one, two.
bash script
One, two.
to deploy all the related Prometheus and Grafana and those observability stack. This PR is trying to address that. Okay, our Helm chart by enable the monitoring, we can automatically launch and deploy the Prometheus and Grafana and all the related observability stack. It is a pretty big change, but I think it's really good. It has a lot of tests, and it has been tested right now by in our Helm YAML file. Just by enable the monitoring stack, we can just have the whole stack at your hand, I would say. But yeah, so let's see how we can enable this. Yeah, so right now we in our serving engine spec, we are doing this as usual. We will have different models, and then we will have our router spec to route to different the serving engine backend. And now by having this Grafana dashboard enable true and Prometheus stack, we can enable and deploy the Grafana and Prometheus in the one single YAML file. I think this is pretty useful for the whole community and not only for right now the Helm chart is not only responsible for the serving engine deployment but also for the Prometheus and the Grafana deployment. Yeah, so this is this PR. There's a lot of change of the Helm chart, but overall I think it is a pretty good one and pretty useful one. So I think that's it for today. Oh, and there's another one. Sorry, I missed this. There's a simple bug fix to admit replicas field when auto scaling is enabled. So people in production, like they found out that when they're using Argo CD to do the auto scaling, if we explicitly set the replicas field when the HPA is enabled, the Argo CD will always report the deployment is out of sync because by the best practice and by Argo CD convention, you are not supposed to set the replicas when the HPA is in use. I am actually not sure about the CADA, um, but yeah, so this bug fix has already been merged and hope it fixed the problems already. So this is pretty much of all the PR and the current status of the production stack. We are planning to release a new version at the end of this week. So yeah, any questions or any comments, feel free to drop here.
Do you guys hear me? Hello. Do you hear me?
Okay, then I guess this is pretty much of today's community meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you everyone for watching this recording video as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's fine.
have a good night or have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.